Welcome to VW Classic Fix. Today I'm going to show you how to change your oil on your air-cooled Volkswagen. Here are the tools that you're going to need for the job. To change the oil in your Beetle or Kombi, you're going to need an oil drain pan, a gasket set with all of the washers and the gaskets for the filter screen and the sump plate. You're going to need a 21mm socket and an 8mm socket extension and a ratchet, and of course some oil. Now I use 20W50 viscosity oil. You've got to make sure you use a full mineral oil with zinc. Don't be using synthetic oil or anything. These old engines like mineral oil, but make sure to use something with zinc, and I recommend Motul, the 3000 plus. Excellent motor oil. So now we're underneath the Kombi, we can have a look at the sump plate and the drain plug itself. So this is the sump plate here, held on with 6 8mm bolts, and you've got the sump oil drain plug here in the center, which is a 21mm. So that's the first one we're going to take out, and we're going to let the warm oil from the warm engine drain out, and then we can take the sump plate off. Now we'll just let the oil drain, and then we'll take out the oil filter, or the sump screen. So now that all of the oil's drained out, we're going to take out these 6 10mm nuts to remove the sump plate. And I did lie before, I said they were 8mm, they are 10s. So we just loosen them gently and then undo them by hand. As you can see, there's actually drips of oil all over these ones, which is a good sign that the sump plate has been leaking. Now that all the nuts are off, sump plate's going to fall out into my hand and into the oil. Brilliant. Gaskets can just go in the oil because they're rubbish. The screen we're going to hopefully keep. Once it comes loose, we'll just work this off slowly. And then take out the filter screen. Now what you can do is you can either buy a new one of these from MP, roughly about 15 bucks or something like that. Otherwise this one can be cleaned out, it's relatively new. But I'm just going to wash this one out with some degreaser, and then obviously make sure it's nice and clean and dry and ready to go back in, along with the new gaskets and the new washers for the nuts that we just took off. So let's clean this up, get the sump plate out of the oil, and then start looking at reassembling the bottom end here so that we can change the oil. Right, so now that we've got all the gaskets off in one piece, we can start cleaning up the mating surface around the threads here. And now we're ready to fit the new gaskets and the sump screen, which we've just cleaned. And it goes, the order here is gasket, sump screen, gasket, sump plate, and then your washers, and then the nuts that hold it all on. Right, so now that we've got the gasket, the sump plate and the bottom gasket in place, I'm going to add the sump plate, hold that in place, get your nut along with the washer. First one's always the trickiest, and I've only got one hand, but you've got hopefully 2, so this should be twice as easy. Right, one's in place. Now we just need to bolt up the other 6, and then we'll tighten them up. So now that all of the cap nuts are in place, we can just simply tighten them up evenly. Of course they're small threads, so don't over tighten them. And of course, don't forget your sump bolt as well. Pop that back in with the new washer. And make sure that's nice and tight as well. Right, that's the hard bit done. Now we can fill it up with oil. Next we're going to take the oil cap off. Firstly, just check the condition of the oil cap itself and make sure there's no frothing or foaming going on, because that means your oil's been quite old and it's been sludging a lot of water and things around, and then you'll see sort of like beer foam building up here. But in this case, this is a pretty recent gasket that looks pretty good, and it doesn't look like the oil's aged too much, which is good. So this is where we're going to fill it up. We're going to put a particular little short funnel in here. Probably have to remove the air cleaner here, which is just simply a few clips down at the bottom here at the base. Pop our little funnel in, or if you've got a snake neck funnel that you can bring out here, even better. And then what you want to be doing is putting about 3 litres in here. It takes about 3.5 litres. I usually put 3 litres in and then just slowly keep checking the dipstick. And of course, after you've put 3 litres in, you can just keep topping it up, but just keep checking the dipstick as you go, and make sure that you get it all the way up to the full line using your full zinc mineral oil 20W50. So it's as easy as that. Thanks very much for watching, guys. If this video was any help, give it a thumbs up, like and subscribe, and share it with anyone you know. Thanks very much for watching. We'll see you next time.